Good evening, everyone. Well, for those of you here in Europe, good evening and good afternoon. For those of you joining me from the US, and if you're in Australia or in Asia, I hope you guys are well in bed and are just going to catch the replay. So let's see if everything is working. I also have my phone on because sometimes my comments do not show up in my on my laptop, and I do not want to miss your comments, and then I can check it also here. So welcome everyone. My name is Karin Peters. I'm a mom of 3, a wife to 1, a psychologist, a life purpose coach, and an energy healer. I am the founder of the Vibrant Sensitive Movement and the Highly Sensitive Parents community. And today, I am so glad to be here because I'm going to talk to you about successful energy management for the highly sensitive entrepreneur. But first, I want to take a minute to acknowledge our group leader here in this beautiful platform and for opening up the group for people like me to come here and to share my expertise, and that is Suzanne Proxa. Thank you so much for this beautiful opportunity. I am feeling very blessed and very grateful, so thank you. Okay, let's see. First, I am going to be talking about energy management. And I'm hoping a few more people were going to join me. Let us see who else is going to come up. So I'm just going to start by giving you guys a quick baseline, an overview about what high sensitivity is, the challenges that the highly sensitive usually have in their lives, of course, about being a parent and an entrepreneur, because this is the theme of this group of this week is the Mompreneur month, I think. Yes, the Mompreneur month. I don't usually identify with a mompreneur because I just feel I'm an entrepreneur, and yes, I am a mom. But I do feel that I'm just an entrepreneur. But I did want to come up here and talk to you about successful energy management. So I'm just going to do a quick overview about what high sensitivity is and the main challenges that we face, and then I'm going to be talking about that. And of course, I'm going to be telling you a little bit about why I feel that I'm qualified to talk about this. Because yeah, it all started with me. It all started. I've been through it all, and it hasn't always been easy to be highly sensitive and a mom and an entrepreneur. So yeah, okay, I have a lot of notes, and of course I am a mom, and of course what happened, I wanted to prepare, and what happened, I wanted to type everything out, and my daughter, my youngest, crashed and was really tired and wanted mommy to put her into bed. Hi Leah, hi. So she wanted me to put her into bed because it's already almost bedtime here for them, and she was really tired, and she would usually be in bed right about now, but she wanted me to put her to bed earlier. So instead of preparing and typing everything out for today, I've had to go with the flow of being a mom, and I have my notes on paper, and I hope that I can read my own handwriting, which is just how we flow as moms, right, and entrepreneurs. So that's life. That's it. We just go with what life brings us and how life shows up for us. That's the main thing. Okay, I'm going to start with high sensitivity. What is high sensitivity? Very important baseline for this talk, of course, because in the online world, there's a lot of talk about being sensitive, being an empath, being asensitive, being highly sensitive. And it's very important to realize that high sensitivity is not a disorder. I always start with that. It is not a disorder. It's a trait. You are born highly sensitive. So if you became sensitive through trauma, then you are not highly sensitive. You have a traumatized brain, right? So you do not fix high sensitivity. You cannot heal high sensitivity. You can only learn to manage your own sensitivities by creating an environment and creating a knowledge about yourself. So 20% of every population is highly sensitive. Very important. And I'm talking about even in the animal kingdom. I mean, even like fruit flies. They've studied fruit flies, and we know that even fruit flies, 20% is highly sensitive. Not all highly sensitive people are introverts, which is something that that is really important to know. A lot of people think that all highly sensitive are introverted. They're not. 70% of the highly sensitive are introverts. 30% are extroverted. You can be highly sensitive and gifted. You can be highly sensitive and a sensation seeker. You can be a lot of different things because they're all controlled by different pathways in your brain. Okay, a lot of the so when you're highly sensitive, you are born this way. Your system is more sensitive to stimuli. We seem to miss a filter in our brain, and because of the filter, we don't have this filter. Everything comes in right away. It just comes in. A non-highly sensitive brain, stimuli comes through a filter. The filter kind of analyzes where that needs to go, and then it processes that. We just kind of like receive stimuli like this, and it just gets dumped in our system, and it goes also deeper in our system. All the research that has been done right now, and I'm talking about scientific research on high sensitivity, the main characteristic of the highly sensitive is the depth of processing. We all process stimuli, information deeply, and that results in the deep feelings, the deep emotions, the deep thoughts, the overthinking, the perfectionism, because that means that we are taking information, taking stimuli, and we're doing a lot with it in our brain. Okay, so that's the main thing. Okay, it is 20% of every population. In every class, you will find 20% of the children are highly sensitive. In any group, you will find 20% is highly sensitive. And in any workplace, 20% is highly sensitive. Really important information. Because of all the deep processing and all the overthinking and all the perfectionism, a lot of the highly sensitive are very prone for burnout situations and burnout experiences in their lives, right? And that is, of course, I mean, a sensitive system, we overthinking, we're perfectionists, we're very conscientious, we want to do things right, and then we go and we're in a traditional workplace, we go really easily into overwhelm and burnout, especially in our society right now where there's so much going on and we're expected to be on all the time. There's a lot of burnout in the highly sensitive communities. Okay, and it's not because we're weak. It's because we're wired differently. Yeah, I'm not about the victim part of the high sensitivity. I do believe that our systems are just so different, and our environments have not been created to fit our needs. Then we are going to be suffering, right? And we have to realize that we are products of evolution. And if we're talking about our society, how it is right now, with all these stimuli and all the overwhelm, we have to realize that our system has not caught up with evolution. Let's just say it that way. We have not caught up with evolution. there's actually a book, there was a book published in 1976 by a German psychotherapist. And he actually stated in that book that there was a lot of pathology in this highly sensitive communities because of the overwhelm in society. And I'm talking about 1976, right? And they're already talking about the overwhelm in society in 1976. Now, let's go 40 years later, and we know that our systems have just not caught up with society. We are not made to function and to be on all the time. Nobody is, but we as highly sensitive certainly did not. So for the highly sensitive, those challenges are usually a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear that goes on in their lives. There's a lot of perfectionism, and because of that, they just don't know how to go for good enough. There's a lot of deep feelings. A lot of anger has to be processed in the highly sensitive life about how they have been perceived. So there's also a lot of self-worth problems in the highly sensitive community because we have been misjudged for such a long time. We've been hearing all our lives, you are too much, you are too sensitive, you are too this, you are too intense. Why do you feel so much? Why do you think so much? So if we've been misjudged all our lives, there's a lot of self-worth problems, and there's also a lot of anger about that. There's a lot of resentment about how people have been perceiving us, right? And that does not serve our community either, because I see that with parents, because I work with a lot of parents, and they want to communicate to schools about their children. There's a lot of anger in the way they're communicating to school, and that just does not serve their children. Because I ask them, please just process first. You know, you have to go into your own healing first and process that hurt and resentment, that so that you can actually actively and effectively advocate for your child as well. Okay. Let's see, acceptance is something that is, so acceptance of their own sensitivities, and it's a challenge, because of all the judgment, we do feel victimized a lot, and there's a lot of hurt, you know, a lot of and also a lot of not owning up to the beautiful parts of their sensitivities. There's a lot of highly sensitive who think it's a curse. Oh, I'm cursed with my sensitivities, you know, like, oh, no, you're not. It's a gift, and you just have to learn how to manage it and how to create an environment that fits you. So that's my baseline on high sensitivity, and I hope it's clear. If it's not, if you have any questions, just pop it into the comments. If I don't get to it now, I will get to it later, I promise. Okay. So there's also the part, so I'm talking about high sensitivity, and now we go into the highly sensitive parents. So we have, this is the baseline, you're highly sensitive, then all of a sudden you become a parent too. And we all know that highly sensitive people need a lot of alone time. We need a lot of time to process. We need a lot of time to feel and to process the information, and do a lot of care for ourselves, right? But then we become a parent, and all of a sudden there's this little human, or two humans, or three humans who do not let you do this. There's a lot of overwhelm. In my highly sensitive parents community, the main topic is, I'm going crazy with my kids. I don't know how I'm going to cope. There's all the touching, there's all the screaming, there's all the asking, there's all the demanding, and all these things. So you're already highly sensitive, you already get a lot of stimuli, and you need alone time, and then you become a parent, and you love your kids to death, and you want to be with them, and you love them, and you feel for them. At the same time, you do feel that, you know, you're going crazy because you're not sleeping enough, you're not doing anything that feeds your body and your soul. So that's the second layer. And then all of a sudden you realize you want to become an entrepreneur. So there you are, you're highly sensitive, you're a parent, and you want to become an entrepreneur. And how do you do that, right? How do you do that? That's what this talk is going to be about. Because I had to make some choices when I was preparing. I know that there are a lot of qualified people out there talking about self-care, nutrition. I don't talk about self-care a lot anymore because it became like an overused word. Self-care was pissing me off a little bit. It was a little bit of like a trigger that everybody was also talk about self-care, self-care, self-care. We need self-care. We know, of course we do. Of course we need self-care. I want us to lift self-care from the realm of look at me, taking care of me, to this is just common sense, people. Of course we have to take care of ourselves. Of course. I'm sick, I go to bed. I'm tired, I rest. I have fried brain syndrome because I've been working really hard. I do something fun. I go into nature, I decompress. This is just common sense. We have forgotten common sense in society right now. And and that's just really, it amazes me that we have lost all touch with our bodies, and we forget that this body is here to serve, to support us. And if we don't support it, we're not going to make it, we're not going to make it. So it's just common sense. Hi, Julie. I'm so glad you're here. So it's common sense, people. Take care of yourself and take care of your bodies. Of course, eat well, nutrition. I see people posting like their healthy breakfasts and healthy meals, and I'm like, of course you're eating. I mean, don't we already know this, that we need healthy food? We need to eat and feed and nourish our bodies. And yes, we're not going to make it for a long time if we fill our body up with crap. And I'm going to tell you one more thing. If you're highly sensitive as well, you're going to be more sensitive to food. So you have to feed your body. So this is not going to be about this. And I already ranted a little bit about it. But, if you really need if you need help with nutrition and meditation and things like that, a lot of gorgeous people in these groups who can help you with that. Okay? I know they know this, but they don't know how. That just blows my mind. They know this, but they don't know how. Okay, I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more. Okay, and I want to tell you why I'm a little bit qualified to talk about this. So, the first thing I always say, I've been specializing in the gifted and the highly sensitive since 2001. Right when I first I started studying it, and it was like this aha moment for me. But I've been living as a highly sensitive person for 38 years. So I mean, I've become an expert because I've been going through life as a highly sensitive person, doing my best, trying to find a way to get to know me, to function in this society. So that's how, I'm 38. I've been doing this for 38 years. I had my first burnout when I was 18 years old. 18 years old, and I was already in burnout. Why? I had to move out of my house. My brother was in a undiagnosed schizophrenic at the time. He wanted me dead. I had to move out. It wasn't safe. I didn't have money. I was working at McDonald's. I was trying to finish high school, and I crashed and burned. And when I crash and burn, I don't do the limp me crying in a corner. No, it was like soul wrenching, me crying my eyes out, screaming at the top of my lungs because my soul felt like it was dying. That was my burnout. That's how I burn out. I had my first child when I was 20 years old. And so that meant that I went from high school, and then I went to the university. I did a year of cultural anthropology because I love people. and I love cultures, and I wanted to learn more about that. I switched to orthopedagogiek, which is like child psychology, development, and education, and parenting. And in that year, I became a mom. Choice, no accident. I wanted to be a mother. I had no idea how to go through life the easy way. I was like, oh my God, I'm just gonna go to college. What's the fun about that? I needed a little bit of a challenge, and I said I want to be a mom. I wanted to be a mom. So I became a mother at 20. So that meant that I did my whole university years, including a master's, by being a mother, and learned a lot from that. You know, going into deep work, doing the things that needed to be done today because you don't know if your child's going to be sick tomorrow. You know, all these things really prepped me for being an entrepreneur as well. Okay, let's see. I've never worked for a boss. Well, at McDonald's when I was a teenager, but as soon as I finished university, I started my first private practice. And after my first private practice, I became the vice president for a big foundation. And after that, my practice grew in a year from just being me to 8 employees. And 2 years later, my second burnout. I was a manager, not a psychologist anymore. I hated it. I crashed and burnt again. Then I became a mom of 2 more children, 14 months apart. They didn't sleep at all, never, ever. And I burned out a third time. And after that, I said, no more. I cannot do this anymore. I have to find a way to make life work for me. I have to go into deep healing. And that's what I did. I reopened my private practice. I created life in a different way. I went into a lot of energy healing modalities. I studied psychotherapy and clinical psychology and hypnotherapy, and I've been doing this for a while now, and now I can make my sensitivities work for me and have created an environment that fits, right? And that's what I'm going to be talking about and how I did that. Okay, and I hope that you guys will find it useful. Okay, first thing first, I'm going to be talking about routines. But first thing you must know as a highly sensitive person is you. Know thyself. And I cannot stress this enough, because if you have no idea why you're being an entrepreneur, if you have no idea why you wake up in the morning, what excites you, what makes you go, yeah, I'm going to get out of bed and I'm going to rock it today. If you don't know this, if you don't know what your purpose is, in Okinawa, they call it your ikigai. It's your reason for waking up in the morning. If you don't know this, life becomes really hard. And it seems that the highly sensitive soul feels that even more than a non-highly sensitive. A non-highly sensitive soul seems to go through life a little bit more like, oh, whatever, I'm just paying the bills and it's fine. But a highly sensitive soul doesn't tolerate that. A highly sensitive soul wants meaning, wants purpose, wants a vision and a mission in life. And that's why a lot of highly sensitive people burn out in work situations quickly. Because they don't feel connected to what they're doing, they're not being supported, and they don't know, like, what's the purpose here? What's going on? I don't know. And if they're not in alignment with their purpose, they feel it. They feel it. And that's when we call it actually depression and not burnout, but it feels the same way. That's a total different talk. And I will probably address that at a different point. Not today. Okay. What works for you? Very important. What works for you and what doesn't? How many hours of sleep do you need? A lot of highly sensitive people are not sleeping enough. And Sleep is the main way we process the stimuli, overstimulations, overwhelm that has been building up in our body. You must sleep enough. How do you know when you have slept enough? When you can wake up without an alarm clock every morning. If you need an alarm clock to wake up, you are not rested. That means your body still needs more. A natural way, it's the easiest way to know how many hours do I actually need, is if you don't need an alarm. A body that is rested wakes up by itself. Vital information, lots of studies on this, okay? How long can you really work efficiently? Very important. We tend to go into busy work. Look at me, I'm working really hard and I'm busy. No, efficient. I only have like 3 good hours a day that I can go into deep, deep work. That is that flow when you go deep and you come out and you go, 3 hours later, and then you feel your brain, it's done. It's done, right? Don't do busy work. It doesn't serve you. Do deep work. Deep work works much better for the highly sensitive brain. And you're going to learn more about that, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, how many, so if you work with clients online or active clients, how many clients a day can you really serve? You know, how many clients a day can you really serve? Which situations triggered you into going to overwhelm, right? To go into pain and overwhelm. A lot of highly sensitive people have issues with pain and exhaustion and fibromyalgia, things like that. It's because the moment they see, like for me, if I see my schedule that there's like no space for me to recover, I'm in pain in no time. In no time. Because my brain and my brain goes, fuck. And my body goes, and it goes, okay, let's break down now because we need to rest. And she's not doing it, so we better make sure she does it. Okay? Don't fall into that trap. What are your constraints of reality? Constraints of reality. We are moms. We don't have those spaces, blissful spaces of time that other people who have no children have. Realize this and use it. Know this. Be okay with it. Accept it. Don't fight it, but work with it. So if you know that you only have between 9 and 12 to do really deep work, then don't try to do the laundry at that time or go do groceries at that time or whatever busy thing that you want to put in there. Don't do it. It's not serving you. Okay? You work and accept your constraints of reality by actually tuning into it and creating a life of creating your deep work blocks around that. Okay? Which situations feed your soul and which drain it. Okay? Also, this is know thyself. Don't put yourself in the situations that are going to be just draining you all the time. If there are inevitable situations that you're not being, that you do feel that need to happen and they're draining, yes, make sure to put a lot of downtime afterwards. Okay. And after that, when you go into that deep know thyself part, okay, these questions, these things that I've asked, take inventory, right? You know yourself best. You know yourself best. If you are in the position to be an entrepreneur, to create a life on your terms, do it well. Be brave, you know, have the courage to say, this works for me and I'm going to stick to this. Okay. Really important. You have to be there to be honest to yourself, because if you have to first tell you that you need this and that you are important, and that because you are your business, right? You have to know yourself first. You are your business. You are the mom of the household. You know, your children depend on you. Your household depends on you. So know yourself and know how to work you in your system, okay? So with this knowledge, you start creating the routines that serve you, okay? And I have thoughts on that. Okay, first thing first, a routine. We are what we consistently do, right? So that's how we create routines, and a routine is just a set of habits. And we have to realize that our habits as a highly sensitive person need to support our system. And you can call that self-care habits. But I do want you to realize that that's just it. They're just habits, and you have to implement them. You can call it whatever you want, but you just have to start implementing them and being consistent with them, because if you're not consistent with them, your body's going to feel that. Your brain is going to feel that. First thing, as a highly sensitive, is that you have to realize that for every high intensity thing we do, we need double the downtime. For every high, we need double the downtime. That seems a lot, but it's not. If you realize that if you do like 3 hours of deep work, that then you will have the rest of the day to do downtime, or you do your busy stuff. That's pretty okay, right? Okay. And that we as highly sensitive, we need downtime even more than you need work time. There is research that has been done on this, and the highly sensitive are more efficient when they're well rested. So when we have fried brain syndrome, this is what I like to call it, we're not going to be efficient. We're not going to be doing anything, right? So they already know, there's been research that the more rested you are, the more efficient you are. So if you just realize that by being rested, you're going to rock your business even more, you're going to rock being a mom even more, then make sure you have that on your schedule. Right? Okay. Yeah, and it's also, I want to say about, that research also has told us that when we actually get more done than non-highly sensitive colleagues, because we're more efficient if we're well rested. That's really cool. I think that's cool. Okay, you have to start to bookend your days. What is bookending your days? Okay, we have almost no control about what happens in the middle of our day, right? We're getting up and we're doing it. We know when we're getting up. We know what we do when we get up. And then life kind of gets away with us. And then we seem to know what we're going to be doing in the evening. So the main reason that people go through life stressed is because they have no control over their mornings, because they feel frantic in the morning. The stress of the morning kind of like sets up your momentum and the energy of the whole day. So I want you to start bookending your days. And when I say bookending your days, control of the morning, control of the evening. And I want you to start with the evening. I want you to start with the evening part. You go to bed early. Again, being well rested is so important as a highly sensitive person. If you're not sleeping enough, I already said when that is enough. If you're waking up with an alarm and you're feeling like shit when you're getting up, you're not well rested. You need more sleep. And you don't have to go to bed 2 hours early or 3 hours early. Just start one full week going to bed 1 hour earlier. 1 hour. That's it. That means you're going to be getting in 7 days, you're going to be getting 7 full hours more of restoration for your body. Okay? Bookend your days. In that bookending, it's also important that you start decompressing on time. That means no computer, no work, nothing that stimulates the brain an hour before you go to sleep. A lot of highly sensitive people have problems with falling asleep because they're overstimulated. No blue lights, no computers. Grab a book, meditate, have sex, whatever you need to do to decompress, to relax, to already start shutting down the body. You do that and go to bed. Try it for a full week and see what happens to you. You might enjoy it. You might really enjoy it. Okay? Then we're going to bookend the morning, right? We're going to go for the morning. The morning is vital. Why? We, by the end of the day, are totally overstimulated and we're tired. Our brain is fried, our body's tired. We've been picking up stimuli all day. Our kids have been touching us and been demanding things, especially when they're really small yet already still. We get into overwhelm and then we kind of say, oh, we're going to do this later, and later never comes. Okay? So everything that is important to you, for your life, for your mission, for your body, for your soul, you do it in the morning. In the morning, okay? Another reason for that is that willpower is like a muscle. It fatigues. We have a lot of willpower in the morning and almost none in the evening. Why do you think that people cave in the evenings and grab that bag of chips? They say, I'm going to be working out in the evening, and then you're tired and you don't do it. So everything that feeds your body, your mind, your soul, your business, you do it first. You do it in the morning. You know, there are a lot of great books out there that you can tune into. The Morning Miracle talks about this. Laura Vanderkam has a great book, and it's called What Successful People Do Before 8 a.m., you know. And it's amazing. It blew my mind years ago, and I started to create routines about doing all those things that matter to me first. And that just, completely turned my life around. Okay. Let's see. Yes. So how do you take those mornings? Grab those mornings. I like to one thing my life. Don't go into the big overwhelmed trap of thinking, I want to go there, but I'm only here. I'm never going to get there. You end up doing nothing because you, as a perfectionist, already see the end line and say, well, I'm never going to get there. Look at my life. How the hell am I going to get there? Well, you start one thing in your life. What is the one thing you can do for your business today, this morning, every time, this morning, that is going to create a baseline and a foundation for the next one thing, morning? What is the one thing I can do today for my body that is going to feed and nourish my body? What is the one thing that I need to do to feel good today, right? For me, I start every day with yoga and meditation. Every day. It opens up my body. It frees my muscles. I get clarity. I get excited about my day. I create like a vision of what I want to be doing today. In my meditation, there's no right way to meditate. Forget that. I don't go into stillness in meditation. I go into visualizing how I want my day to unfold. That's what I do in my meditation. And then I go, and when I'm ready and prepped, I go out and create that. Okay? So one thing. What do you need to do today? One thing. that you need to do for your soul? What do you need to do for your business? What do you need to do for your body? Do those things first and don't overthink it, right? 5-second rule, Mel Robbins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and do it. Of course, I advise you also to wake up early to do these things, because if you have children and you have to get them ready for school, you're going to have to get up early so that you can do a few things before the morning rush starts. I love waking up early because I get to do my morning ritual. And after that, I'm not screaming at my kids, get ready, grab your bags, eat, it's a relaxed flow. And they have a loving mother who has started her day with them, with cuddles and kisses, happy to see them, welcoming into the day. And they're going to school relaxed, no stress, no rush. And that sets off my day right. Okay? So if you start one thing in your life, you're already ahead of the game. Okay? Realize that. One thing. What can you do today? One thing. Don't go into 500 things, because you cannot do 500 things in a day. You can do one thing, and you can do that well. So do that. Okay? Yeah. After the deep work, okay, you're in control of your morning. You've done your rituals. You've done your deep work. Okay, realize how much is that for you. For me, max of 3 hours. After 3 hours of deep work, my brain is fried and I have to stop and do something else. Yeah, that is when, now we did a little bit of self-care. We did the deep work, and now we're going to be moms because that also has to happen. We're not only entrepreneurs. So I don't prioritize my life on cleaning. I first do my deep work. I first do those things that I said that matter to me. Okay? This matters. My life matters. My dreams matter. My business matters. I matter. My body matters. My kids are in school. Everyone is taken care of. And after that, I get up and I do my busy work. That's when I do the mommy things that need to be done. I don't prioritize my life on having a clean house. My kids are not going to remember a clean house. My kids are going to remember a happy mommy. My kids are going to remember the love that I can give, because I'm doing the things I said I'm going to be doing. My kids are going to be looking at me and they're going to be seeing what I did with my life. That's their example. Not a clean house. They don't care. My kids certainly don't care. I'm going to tell you that. They're the messiest children in the whole world. The youngest two. My oldest has like some slight OCD tendency, so she's really clean. But the other two, they're the messiest children in the world, so they don't care. So why should I? So I get up, and that's also important. You've been sitting all that while, all the time. Now it's time to get up and move. Movement is the second way that highly sensitive people process the overwhelm and stimulation in our bodies. Move. Please move. Actually, after every hour, you have to get up and move at least for 2 minutes. Even if it's just jumping up and down, you're creating movement and flow in your body. You're activating the endorphins in your body to vitalize you again. It's like you're creating the dopamine is going up, and you become fresh again, and you get clear head, and you become more productive, right? So even if it's every hour you get up for 2 minutes and walk and do something, or jump up and down, or do some stretching, you're already increasing your productivity. But after your deep work, you have to get up and move and do active moving. And for me, that's just going to the grocery store. I get out of the house. I go out. I do my groceries. I prepare my meals. before my kids, I make sure that that my kids eat healthy, that there's healthy food in the house, that that I'm actually also doing all those things. I go pick up my kids from school on the days that I don't have a nanny to pick them up, and that's that's when you do that. You go into busy work, because then for busy work you don't need an active brain. You just need to do it, right? So don't waste willpower, brain power, muscle, effective energy in busy work. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm actually saying. Don't waste your purposeful, passionate energy on doing things that at the end of your life here on earth, nobody's going to say, oh man, she did she always had groceries in the house. That was not, my house was always so clean. Nobody's ever going to say that. Okay. What did she create? What kind of mom was she? Was she loving? Was she caring? Was she there for me? That's what people are going to be talking about on your funeral day. So activate that on your daily life. Activate that on your daily life, not the busy crap. Okay, let's see. So you go out, you moved, and if it's necessary, then you go and if you still feel efficient, if you have something now scheduled or something like that, then you do that. But make sure that your efficient brain is used on the things that matter. Okay. Yeah. And then you're almost at the end of the day again, right? Again, by the end of the day, don't do anything that gets too overstimulated or too that awakens you too much, because you're going to have trouble falling asleep again. And again, the whole cycle of negativity will start all over again, and you're going to be tired. And a tired person is not going to go after their dreams. The main reason that I hear from my clients when I say, so why aren't you going and fulfilling your dreams? They say, because I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I have no time. And I always say, well, you do have time. You're just using it for the wrong things. They don't like to hear that, but it's a lot of truth in that. And I'm not saying, when you're in those beginning years of parenting and you have small babies and small toddlers. Yeah, Hi, Suzanne. Hi. If you have those little small children, yes, you don't have time. And I get it. And I'm here for you. And, this too shall pass. If you don't have a nanny, if you don't have daycare, if you're homeschooling and things like that, things get tough. Yeah. But try to realize that if you take control of your mornings and take control of your evenings, that you really are going to still going to create a lot of momentum and still use and channel your energy efficiently. Very important. Okay. Let's see. A few more last tips. Of course, don't plan too much on one day. Don't plan too much on 1 week. Don't plan too much on 1 month. We tend to overestimate how much we can do in one day, but we underestimate how much we can actually create in a year by actually creating momentum and doing that one thing and doing that one thing well. Okay, so if you think you're going to need 1 hour to finish that one thing today, schedule 2 hours, and then celebrate when it only took that 1 hour, and then you can actually maybe take something else off. That makes you more efficient than you seeing a to-do list of 100 things and crashing just by the look of it. You're not getting things done, right? Plan efficiently by planning less, and then do that thing well, tick it off, pat yourself in the back. Yay me, efficient. got it done, creating new neural pathways in your brain of efficiency instead of, oh God, I'm such a loser. I didn't get it right again. Look at me. I'm falling behind. I had that plan. You know, plan better. Make a better planning for yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Do today what you can. That's like the main thing I learned when I was a student. I was 20 years old. I became a mom, first year in university. And my child had chronic ear infections. That meant she was like screamingly sick, fevers, and pain 3 days a week, at least. So if I could do something today to make tomorrow easier, I did. And I planned ahead because I only have today. I have no idea what tomorrow's going to bring. That's like huge as mothers, right? We have no idea if our kids are going to get sick. You know, if we're going to get sick, if you can do today what's in your possibility to do today, you do that. Okay? And that's how I got through university. I got through my university, my master's in 5 years. I had everything, I started my practice by always, what can I do today? What can I do today? That's all. I don't go into what I need to do next week. What needs to get done today? And then I think ahead and like, oh, I take that off. What else can I do? I'm still feeling sharp. I have brain power left. What else can I do? What else can I do? And you do that too. And then you create momentum, because this is all about momentum. This is all about consistency. This is about showing up. The entrepreneurial life, it's not about the sprints. You have to start planning your life as a marathon. If you plan your life and your business as a sprint, you're going to burn out because it's just not how it works. You have to show up through the long run, the same way that you have to show up for yourself in the long run, the same way you have to show up for your children and, consistently be there for them. Okay. Yeah, of course, take baths, meditate, have a spa day here and there, go out to nature, decompress. I think these are just logic. This is not for me, things that I have to mention, but I will, just to make a few people happy. Make sure to create time also to connect with your significant other. So important. When we become mothers, we lose ourselves, and we lose ourselves in motherhood. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Your children are going to grow up, and they're going to go have their own lives. If you really are committed to the relationship with your significant other, you also show up as a partner for them as well, and support their dreams and support your relationship. And this will make you better parents, and in the long run, a better you, and a better you makes a better entrepreneur. Okay? Also, something that we are so deeply committed to, as I'm married to the love of my life, and I want him to stay the love of my life. I want him to stay the love of my life. Okay. And of course, the last thing, because we're moms, don't forget your kids. Yes. We're busy, right? No. They're not going to accept that. If you want your kids to cooperate and thrive and have a loving mother and have, you connect with them. I see a lot of people, a lot of women out there like, I'm being a good mom, and then I see what that means for them. And I mean, they're just present. They're just there for the kids are around them, and the kids are doing their thing. And then they're surprised that the kids are acting up. They're negative. Nothing is so bad for a mother who's an entrepreneur as mommy guilt. drains your energy and your productivity right away. And the best solution is plan quality time with your kids. And I'm talking about not busy time, not when you're there cooking and cleaning and going around them and rushing them away and you think, yeah, I did a good job. Yes, you did. Of course you did. You kept them alive. But kids want to be seen and heard and understood and loved. And even if it's just 10 minutes of intentional cuddles, of playtime, do a board game, sit on the floor, do Legos with your kid, whatever that is that matters for her, do that. It will make you a better entrepreneur because you'll be freed of mommy guilt. Mommy guilt doesn't serve you, and your kids are thriving, and we can only function as well as our kids are doing, right? If my kids are not doing well, I don't do well. If my kids are hurting, I hurt. And that's going to cut into my productivity. It's going to cut into my energy. So if we may have to make sure that our kids are also doing well. Very important. And a lot of people forget that. Okay? So make sure you do that. For my 17-year-old, she has two younger brothers and sisters. And she feels like all the time, every time I'm talking, they come in, and they need attention. So I always make sure that at least once a month, maybe twice a month, we do something just the two of us. When she gets to talk to me and share and tell me all her issues, and and I get an insight to her inner world, and I love that, and we have a good connection because of that, because I do take time to get to know my kids, what matters to them, what moves them, what troubles them. And I really know that because this knowing is in me that I'm doing, I'm being a good mom to them also, then I can also show up strongly for my tribe and serve them fully. Okay? Yes. I think I have everything I need to say on energy management for the highly sensitive mom entrepreneur. And I hope you guys found this valuable. I hope if you have any questions on anything I said, anything that maybe even triggered you, I hope I didn't piss anybody off with a few of my views. I've been doing this for a long time, and I know that I've worked with more than 700 families as in private practice. I've been working with highly sensitive women for a long time, with highly sensitive parents for a long time, and I know that there is a lot to be gained by doing that deep inner work as well, of getting to know you and creating life around that. And especially when you're entrepreneurs, you are in the position to create something that serves you. When you're in a work environment, it's a little bit more difficult. So you're already really blessed that you're in that opportunity, in that situation, that you can create a life that meets your needs. So take it, grab it, and do something with that. Okay? Do something with that. I think I've said everything I need to say. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to invite you, of course, into also my own community. I have the Vibrant Sensitive group, and it's a little bit more of us that we talk a lot about healing, energy healing. I do a lot of healing meditations in that group. If you're interested in things like that, come in there. We talk about astrology, about the energy at the moment, and it's really my thing. I love energy healing work, and it makes me really happy to do it. So it's really a high vibe. This is not a victim type group where we're there to complain. That's why it's a vibrant, sensitive group. And I also have the highly sensitive parents community. If you're highly sensitive and a parent, you also like to go, if you sometimes want to share things, struggles, challenges, you can go in there. But I also want to invite you as coaches, healers, therapists, anybody in this in who serves in this way, to also come into my groups and you know, post your offers there as well. I can't help everyone. I don't want to help everyone. It's never been my my intention. I know exactly what type of work I like to do, and if there's something you can offer my communities, please come in there as well. I also want to invite you also into my Vibrant Sensitive Healing Circle, if that's something that interests you, if you like healing. It's a membership group, and I'm just going to post the links in the comments so that you can access that. I also have a Vibrant Sensitive guide for you, and you can also access that through the link that I'm going to be posting. Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if there are any questions come up for you, let me know. Have a lovely day. Bye.